I've got to be honest, that is a major worry. Now, taking politics out of this, let's just look at the country, Tim.
Yeah.
Will Rylan keep his job after this? Rylan has caused absolute chaos by speaking just common sense on This Morning on ITV, talking about illegal migration, and the lefties are absolutely losing it. Make sure you stay tuned, because after this we are going to look at Narinda's huge meltdown about this.
This country is built on immigration,
It is
legal
indeed.
immigration. You know, a lot of the nurses, the doctors that have saved my mum's life have come over here from other countries, are living a great life. They're paying into this tax system. They're helping this country thrive. I find it absolutely insane that all these people, one, are risking their lives coming across the channel like that they are. But two, when they get here, it does seem, and I think this is why a lot of Labour voters as well are now sitting there going, there's something wrong here. It seems, welcome, come on in. This is the narrative we're being fed.
Yeah.
Here's the hotel. Here's the phones. Here's the iPad. Here's the NHS in reception of your hotel. Here's 3 meals a day. Here's a games room in the hotel. Have a lovely time and welcome. And then there's people that have lived here all their lives that are struggling.
Yeah.
That are homeless. Let's not even discuss our homeless. That are people living on the streets, veterans, all of this.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't me getting on my soapbox, because let me be honest, everyone's going to have an opinion about this and you're going to upset someone some which way. I believe that something major needs to be done about this. The money that it's costing us, the amount of people that are in this country that we have no idea who they are, what they've done, what they're capable of, and clearly we see a lot of it in the press at the moment, some of what some are doing, it's not all, what some are doing to people in this country. How can, if I turn up at Heathrow Airport as a British citizen and I've left my passport in Spain, I've got to stand at that airport and won't be let in and got to get this, but if I arrive on a boat in Calais, I get taken to a 4-star hotel?
Sounds like common sense to me, but the lefties don't think so. Let's take a look at Narinda's huge meltdown.
A little message for Nigel Farage. Sorry, Ryland Clark. I get the two mixed up these days. Seriously, Ryland, I've met you before, liked you. But your little outburst on This Morning was disgusting, despicable. You can do better.
Despicable and disgusting. All he's done is point out the bleeding obvious.
And don't you dare wrap it up as, oh, well, it's all unfair. Because if you wanted to talk about unfairness, you could have talked about billionaires not paying their taxes.
Oh,
you could have
come
talked
on.
about corrupt politicians. You could have talked about a multitude of sins of the Tory government of the past 14 years. But no, you decided to wake up and punch down on vulnerable people who are drowning in the sea, trying to get desperate, trying to get to this country, and you wrapped it up as some kind of luxury holiday they're on. It's disgusting.
He's not punching down on vulnerable people. He's punching down on the system for giving them all of these perks to incentivize them to come here. He's not saying that migrants are horrible people and they're horrible human beings for getting on the boat. I think most of us realise if we were in their shoes and we had the option of a 4-star hotel and a safe place to stay, that you would come. But it's up to the government to stop this madness. I don't think Rylan is some kind of evil, despicable racist who hates migrants.
Who do you think you are, seriously? And then you started to kind of backtrack and said, well, actually, we like legal migrants. They looked after my mum so well. My parents were legal migrants. I know plenty of legal migrants, and they don't appreciate that you thought that that's okay, because we're at targets right now. Black and brown communities right now, we're targets. There's a target on our back. 2 Sikh men have been attacked. A restaurant in a suspected racial aggravated attack. And all you can talk about is, well, we don't mind them. Shut up. Seriously, do better.
Okay, so to make sure that no black or brown person faces any sort of prejudice, we should just make sure that we have no border whatsoever and we have the fluffiest perks for anyone that wants to come here, just in case a black or brown person receives a racist comment. I mean, it's genuinely insane. Of course I'm against racism. Of course I am. But just the way that she is framing this to basically say, she's almost saying, you want black and brown people to be assaulted and to face racist attacks. You want these vulnerable people to drown in the channel. It's just ridiculous. It's completely non-argument, just it's a tantrum. It's not an argument, it is a tantrum. That's exactly what it is. I'm not impressed there with Narinder, and she's completely out of touch. Everyone across this country is saying the same thing. Of course, not everyone, but a huge growing number of people, and that is why Reform have just had a poll come out putting them on 34%. More than the Labour and the Tories combined, because this is what people are talking about. Now, I'm very pleased to see that Rylan has stuck by his guns. He's probably terrified, wondering if he's still going to have a job after what he said. He shouldn't be worrying about his job, because what he said was completely common sense and completely valid opinion. I thought he tiptoed it very carefully, laying out first what we agree on, and that we agree that legal migrants have brought a lot to this country. And he was also very clear to say, we've seen what some migrants are capable of, but let me be clear, it's just some of them, it's not all of them. I thought he was very careful, but he's probably terrified. But of course the mob have gone for him, people like Narinder, and I'm very glad to see that he has stuck by his guns, because often when this sort of thing happens, they issue an apology and say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it, I was horrible, when they actually weren't. He's stuck by his guns. He's tweeted, you can be pro-immigration and against illegal routes, you can support trans people and have utmost respect for women, you can be heterosexual and still support gay rights. The list continues. Stop with this putting everyone in a box exercise and maybe have conversations instead of shouting on Twitter. Well said. And a lot of people have been tweeting in support of Ryland. So he knows that people have got his back whilst these the evil leftist mob is coming for him on Twitter. I wanted to show you this tweet from Christo, who sort of breaks down his argument. And he says, to all those who think that this morning migrant conversation was wrong or politically biased or means Ryland should be sacked from the BBC, it's not the BBC, it's ITV, or exiled to Mars, here's the clip and a long thread of quotes as to why you're wrong, and frankly hysterical. So Ryland says, quote, let's take the politics out of this. He's not backing any party. He says this country is built on illegal immigration, showing immigration historically has worked, therefore being balanced. It does seem, what he said, when discussing what asylum seekers got in relation to hotels, he's referencing the perception out there, not his opinion. He also said, this is the narrative we're being fed. Again, opening up the perception of freebies for asylum seekers for debate and referencing it might not all be accurate. Rylan also said, I believe something major should be done about this. This echoes what every major political party is saying. And he said, we see it in the press, what some are doing in this to people in this country, referencing alleged crimes, which are facts, how they are reported in the press, but also pointing out it's not all migrants. And Christo says, in all of the above and other points made, he gives Tim the chance to rebut them or question how deportation plans could work or be paid for. Again, being balanced, love or loathe it. He is simply discussing what's happening, people's fears, how it's being reported, what's accurate, what people perceive to be wrong about it all, and basically doing his job. He's done nothing wrong here. Absolutely. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Rylan going to keep his job or not because of this? And the outcry, whether he keeps his job or he doesn't keep his job, is going to be huge. If he keeps his job, well, the lefties are going to go absolutely insane and say ITV is a bunch of full of racists. And if he loses his job, all of the people across this country that are concerned about illegal migration and what Ryland said resonated with them, they are going to be absolutely furious and really feel that sense that the so-called blob, the so-called bubble, the media bubble are completely out of touch if they think that is a fireable behaviour to talk about illegal migration on live TV. That's going to be quite something. Anyway, that's the latest. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you hit subscribe down below if you've not already. It massively helps us and it's completely free for you to do.